Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. We are slowly gearing our way towards 400, and I'm so scared to see this. We're doing this live, first of all, and we are.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Show my creativity of goodness.
This is definitely totally only Michael. The flower boy.
9 more to go. Well, you know, it's been cold in New York, so I wanted to make things a little, flower nice.
Michael's life is always
spring. You know, it's spring.
Mike's always been floral. That's for sure.
Well, you know what? Flower.
You've always been floral. I will definitely
at least it shows that you like it. So I am happy for once.
I don't. So we're recording this live on Frontline as always. So if you see us talking with other people, if you're watching this post live, it's because we were doing this live. So what's up, Mr. Gretzky is in the comments, and so is Tevya. Tevya was actually here before we even went live. I set this up at 10:30. It is now 11:10. So what's up, guys? We got other people I'm sure that will be popping in from time to time. So even if you're watching this post live or if you're watching this on my channel, which ironically, the longer we do this, I'm doing 3 episodes a week on my channel. The closer I'm catching up to myself. So I believe this video should be going up the 2nd week of June. So you guys will be seeing this on my channel a lot sooner than like when I first started, and my episodes are going up like 2-3 months ago. So I'm catching up with myself. 400 will actually be the week after. I believe it's the Monday after the actual 400th episode was up.
Were you on the radio sports show this afternoon as a caller? No, I was at work.
Mike was on a radio show, though.
I was on a radio show in California, so...
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like years ago. I think 2011, 12? I don't know. But no, wasn't me. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. So we got a nice amount of books this week.
And they were released
go ahead.
On May 3rd, 2017. The first week of May.
And we are aiming for the end of June, because that is when the 400th episode will be hitting.
That is right. And it's your birthday month.
Yes, it is.
No, May, I meant. Yeah.
And for those of you, really quickly, I'm going to plug this because it just came out tonight. Or actually, by the time you're watching this on Tuesday, I should be mentioning this. Preview pages for Celestial Falcon will be out. I will be making a video on my channel sometime tomorrow afternoon. So I'm not sure when, but I have the preview pages. I'll be doing a video, so keep an eye on Dark Avenger C86. We've got a lot of stuff coming your way. Also, I apologize if you guys hear any background noise. This weekend, there's a reason we didn't do a haul video. Let me just throw this out there also real quick. We didn't do a haul video this weekend because this weekend was Free Comic Book Day on Saturday, of course, but it was also PuppyCon at our...
You mean the Adopt-a-thon?
It was Adopt-a-thon, but it was PuppyCon. Yeah, it had a bunch of names, and it was happening at a adoption Animal League center in Long Island. So Mike, we all went. I was just going to say Mike and I went, but our whole family went, and we actually did adopt a new puppy. At the moment, we don't let her in my room because she is in her teething phase. And my room has a bunch of wires all across the floor, the power cord for this laptop, the wire for the microphone, the wire for the camera. So, yeah, she can't be in the room right now. As she gets older and she gets out of the teething and everything else, we'll definitely have her. She'll probably end up sleeping in here because she does like the beds and all, but I don't like the teething. So we can't show you guys the puppy right now. I'm sure you're going to hear the door.
It's on my Facebook, though.
It's on Michael's Facebook. I shared a picture on Instagram today. I'm sure she's going to pound on the door. I just wanted to set a little disclaimer up. She's brand new. She's only been in this house for 2 days so far. This is her 2nd night home, and she's still getting used to everything. So I don't know how she's going to react when she hears us talking to you guys as we're doing the show. So just a little disclaimer for those of you live, post-live, what have you. But yeah, so into the books. This week, there was an issue number 1. There were 2 issue number 1s. One of them was for, oh God, it was a 25-cent issue from Dynamite, and it was from the remember the game I have the name the name
game.
right here.
What
It was a
game?
game at one time. Sword Quest, was it Sword Quest? Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Sword Quest, Sword Quest, Sword Quest. Going once,
Sword
going
Quest.
twice. Sword Quest. I'm gonna throw that out there. I did start checking that book out. I did not finish reading it, so I can't review it. So we had Sword Quest. They came out. It was 25 cents from Dynamite. Definitely something to look into for 25 cents. I have 2 quarters. I can get 2 issues of Sword Quest. Definitely check that out just for the price alone. Even if you don't like the story, the cover itself is really nice. I will say that. We ended up getting it with a few free comic book day books that we got from Midtown, so I'll have the cover for myself. I have to still read it. I can't review that. And there was another book that came out that was an issue number 1. No, that was, I'm going to review that. That was an issue number 1 that I haven't even started reading yet, but it looks really good. And that is issue one. Eternal Empire. The artwork in it looks amazing, but unfortunately I did not have a chance to read it. And I didn't want to push this review 2 days in the future because, as you guys know, tomorrow's Frontline Live. There will be a few things going on. It was announced Cullen Bunn will be in. We will have an e-panel with Cullen Bunn tomorrow. Mike and I won't be there because we have a few things we have to do with the dog, but we will be there for the second part of the show, which is the top 5. So we will be on later on.
Media news then. Okay.
We'll be talking about free time.
I didn't know. Yeah.
But yeah, so those are 2 books I want to mention. Awesome artwork, 25 cents. Both books. Check them out. Paper Girls, issue number 14, however, falls into the category of I've read this book. We finally get a date for the astronaut woman. She is from the year 2019. And she's responsible for what's going on. They part ways with the woman with the baby. I keep forgetting her name. Waru or something like that. We got Larry in the comments. What's up, Larry? And they find KJ and Mac. And now you've got the astronaut woman who's being held hostage by the 3 men. And KJ actually performs a distraction so the girls could save the astronaut lady. And I love how she's running. She's like, why did I kiss Mac? I don't understand why I kissed Mac. And if you really look deep, I got 80 books on free comic book day for $64. Dang, that's awesome, man. That's Mr. Gretzky that said that. Share some of the books with me if you got doubles. But anyway, she's running, and they're saying the word Haggett. Hagat, and they keep saying it to her over and over and over again, and she jumps over, and then she looks down and she goes, oh. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of a symbolism there to her realizing that she likes girls. But she escapes the 3 men. She reconvenes with the girls. They talk to the astronaut woman. She promises that she could try to help them get back to their time if they can help her. They talk about that weird triangle monster thing that gave KJ her visions to begin with. And we find out that the 3 men end up taking the baby from the mother. And the mother comes back and she's all beaten up. To be continued. Looking really interesting. I am really enjoying Paper Girls. It's out there. It's insane, but it's a guilty pleasure to read. Had to try this because it's in issue number 1. Youngblood is back. Issue number 1. Rob Liefeld actually does the backup story in this book. And I got to say, I really did enjoy the backup story in this book, but the main story is where it's at. So, as you guys know, Youngblood, all the superheroes are gone. They're not around. And you have these vigilantes going around still playing superhero, and the president is kind of ready to make a speech about them. There's this one guy who goes missing, and we find out that there's something going on in the background. And one of, I'm not going to spoil it because this was actually fun, and I want you guys to read this, but one of the Youngblood actually comes out of retirement, and 2 or 3 of the others are working for the government to kind of fix this situation with all the vigilantes going on. I really was not expecting to like, I wasn't expecting to like a few books this week, but I did. I will be back for issue 2. Awesome read. I really enjoyed it.
You have a Paper Girls question.
Is Paper Girls a time travel story? I'm confused. Yes. It is a time and space travel story. Because we don't know if they're even on Earth at this point. It's time and space.
And Youngblood went.
Youngblood made a comeback now. Rob Liefeld was pushing for it. Was it last year? I think it was last year. He was really pushing to get Youngblood out. And Image finally said, all right, Rob, do your thing. And I think that we're going to be very happy as readers that Rob got Youngblood out there again. From Dark Horse, you know, we're done with Life and Death now. It was a wonderful series. I cannot wait for the omnibus double-sized book whenever they do release it. If they do. If they don't soon, I'm probably going to go and get the individual trades. Alien has let me down. Move your leg a little bit here. I want to actually fix the microphone. I apologize for the little movement here. Alien has failed me as far as the books. However, Predator Hunters issue #1 came out. So we have a Predator book. And I like the way they did the cover. So what is Predator Hunters? Well, we get this guy at the beginning of the book who actually did encounter a predator. And you get this group of people together and they want to recruit him. Because apparently Predators made an appearance, and there's a prologue in the beginning of the book where these guys who are drug cartel are running from a predator, and each one of them is picked off one by one by the predator. And this group of people want to bring this guy who's a general, I think the general captain, or he was something somewhere. They want to bring him into their group. And he's like, you know, I've been approached by the army. Oh, that's right. He was approached by the army, the FBI, and he just wants to kill the predators because of what they did to him. And you get his backstory. And what happens is, he's like, no, I was offered it by the government, and the government ended up not wanting to kill the predators, but they wanted to steal their technology and use it. I don't give a crap about the technology. I just want to kill all the SOBs. And they're like, you know what? That's what we're going to do. We're hunters of the predators. We want to destroy them. And in the end, he does end up joining them, and you get a backstory for each one of the members of this group. And what happens is now they're going after the predators that killed the drug cartel people at the beginning of the issue. And I'm interested. I'm actually interested to see these people are actually insane enough to want to go up against the predators. I am really, really interested.
Oh, you're done?
I'm done.
Oh, I thought you were...
Definitely check out this one. I was really happy with this one.
All right, so let's start with my books now, starting with Angry Birds Gameplay issue #3. And the Angry Birds Gameplay volume is, this isn't the movie, this is actually the regular Angry Birds. And this one has 2 stories, and it's a guilty pleasure read. Like, the first story talks about the Jackal Mr. Hyde with the pigs and everything, so that was actually a fun read. And then the second one was something about a frenzy that was going on, so it was more focus points on the pigs' point of view rather than the birds. So, yeah, like that's really like the only reason why I say it's a guilty pleasure, because it was really focused on that. And there's really not much to talk about. It was really like a great read for that. Now, this is a video game comic book that actually came out. I'm actually happy to be reviewing this. Tekken issue #1. Yes, everybody, the PlayStation game that most of us may or may not have grown up with is out in the comic books. And what Tekken's about, it starts off with this little girl who is with a panda bear. And this girl who is a detective, Williams, is on the lookout for her. But her other sister, I think Nina Williams? I think it was something Williams. Like, it was the evil one. Goes after this girl with the panda bear. And what's up, Jason Smith? Welcome to the show. There was just like this whole battle that was going on. Then the Williams sister fought in with each other. I liked actually Paul, the one with the long hair dude. He actually made an appearance in this book. And yeah, it was just like an all-around fight book. A really great book, actually. And then we get this other character that has this vision of I don't really remember all Tekken characters. Like, I only know like the first generation characters, like not the other ones. I can't remember what the name was, but he has like this different side of him where he turns into like this bat or something. And then he gets a vision about something, and then they took the girl and Panda Bear with Paul and Williams because they have this mission, and their mission is to find a certain artifact, and more will be explained in the book, because at the end of the issue, we had lots of the Jack armors, if that's what their name were, and they're going to be fighting them. And that's to be continued in the next book. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Tekken is going to have in store for all of us. Really great book. Faith issue number 11. The Fateless 4 is now starting to do damage to Faith. I'm trying to get the focus. Yeah. And what damage are they doing? Well, I'm going to explain this. One of the girls is actually in disguise as Faith. And she's giving her a bad rep of saying, like, oh, I'm going to kill this person. I'm going to do this and that. Basically, this person who transformed into her is making her out to be the worst enemy of every person. And they think that's actually Faith because she actually looks like her. Whereas where the real Faith is, she's like in the office or something, and she actually finds out from one of her friends that somebody is framing her because the Fateless 4 is to, number one, get rid of Faith, but also making her public enemy number 1 as well. So they go out and do that. So Faith is trying to actually encounter the enemy of the Fateless 4, and she finds them, but when they were about to fight, they were sent somewhere else to probably a different dimension where she no longer exists. And if that's going to be where she no longer exists in the different universe where someone's going to play as Faith to be evil and then bring her back, I don't know how it's going to go, but it looks really interesting. So Fateless 4 is doing massive damage to Faith. So there's only so many things that can happen in this book as the issue continues. Now, this one I did review for Comic Frontline, and that is Ghostbusters 101, issue number 2. This was a really great book. We got introduced to the... come on, camera, focus. I do apologize for the blurry of the camera. But yeah. So we get introduced to the new Ghostbusters who were in the movie, and they're called Answer the Call Ghostbusters, and I actually like their character in the book. Like, they're funny, but they're more on top of getting ghosts like 1, 2, 3 quickly, for that matter. But then we get into a different story where they do this commercial where Peter Venkman does a commercial about Ghostbusters 101. I do a more in-depth review of this, so I'm giving a little bit of that. Peter Venkman does a Ghostbusters 101 commercial, and we get introduced to a new character, Garrett Parker. And his mother actually came in to help him apply for the Ghostbusters 101 courses. And it's just like so much that happened. But in the end of the book, to be continued, Kevin Hartman asked if they knew of someone named Peter Venkman. So I guess Answer the Call Ghostbusters is going to meet with the original Ghostbusters. That's actually going to be pretty interesting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if that's going to happen. And finally, Red Agent, The Human Order, issue number 6. The Adventures of Red Agent, and I don't know what is going on with your camera, Chris, because it's blurry. Like, I'm trying to focus it. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so this is issue number 6 of The Human Order. And what happens in this story is that the doctor, Dr. Lucas, gets kidnapped by these people. And we don't really know why, because they had like a history of some type. So as they're taking them in, it is up to the team to go and save Mr. Lucas. And the person who knows Mr. Lucas is letting him solve an equation that he's trying to figure out. Now, I don't know if that's trying to kill him or if it's trying to do something else to him. But it was like really something else. I will give a spoiler, though. He does die in this issue, Mr. Lucas. But if you want to find out how, you've got to definitely read the book. But... wow, Red Agent, it's a really very great book, though. I'm really enjoying the Zenoscope.
Oh, we got Jason Smith in the comments.
I know, I said what's up. All right, so now we're going to go into the physicals. My book of the week, in my opinion.
Oh, that book hurt in so many ways.
The Walking Dead, issue number 167.
Mike Spider Slayer's review of the book.
I saw it.
Made me cry.
And the reason why it made us cry is because Andrea, actually knowing that she got bitten, has, well, before I get to the news and everything, like, basically Rick is feeling weak and Andrea's like trying to give him confidence of saying, you know, you must go on, you know, because you've done so much and everything. Don't feel sad for me and everything. And he feels guilty because he said that it should have been me and I wanted to save you. Even Carl, you know, you get all these emotions in this book.
Carl with calling her mom, that was another one.
You know, and then there's that. And then as the hours went by after Andrea died, well, this happened. Thinking it was going to happen at issue 170, it actually happens an issue later. And, yeah, just the whole thing. I mean, I can't even look at it right now because it's so sad. And, so now they all just get together, and this page I gotta show because this is really just showing the community together. I don't know why Negan's not shown here. I mean, I don't think I see Negan anywhere.
No.
But just Rick's like saying, you know, just follow me. There's still so much to do. And I like how Robert Kirkman did a little memorial thing right here of saying the farewell to the character that I created of Andrea. But with this book being like really just the #1 book for me this week, it's not getting in the cover. Hello. Thank you. See, it's turning on me too now. Definitely a book you should pick up. But I will bring tissues with you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And no, Tevye, Negan's not dead.
No, not when did I say Negan died?
No, Tevye said, I thought Negan died.
Oh, no, Negan's still alive.
All right. Now, this is going to be going on with in IDW. Next week is Ghostbusters, so next week is for you. But this week is TMNT. We got the Funko Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Apparently, I got the Funko box
My
variant.
favorite turtle.
I don't remember getting the Funko box variant. And by the way, I'm very interested in the Next Generation Star Trek. Just going to point that out there. But this is a fun... I'm not going to really go deep into it. It's a really fun book.
Oh, it's really a Funko
you have kids...
one?
Yeah, it's Funko. It's based
I thought it was
the
just the
Funkos.
cover.
If you have kids, man, I would recommend this book. It gave me a 1980s TMNT feel mixed with really fun, cartoony adventure and just awesomeness. I loved it. I thought it was really cute, really cool, and it was an enjoyment to read. And I think that adults and kids will definitely love this book. Good job, Funko. I mean, geez, Funko started off just being pop figures. It was just pops.
Yeah.
And I remember it started with DC. It was like 8 pops and that's it. And then it just became a franchise. And then you got Rock Candy. And then you got this. Then you got Tevye. You're commenting a lot, dude. Let other people talk. Yeah. They do definitely look adorable, though. I will agree with that. But man, Funko's come so far. Ron Price, what's up, man? And I love the show, man. I'm glad you enjoy our show, our review. But this was an enjoyable read. Definitely get this. If anything, get this for your kids. Really good stuff. I really enjoyed it.
But we're going to the other side of Teenage.
Now we're going into TMNT issue number. I always ruin it when I do that because of the gloss of the cover. Issue 69. I really enjoyed this issue. This is a great setup for 70. So Gecko ends up in there and he ends up stealing a bunch of information from the EPF, which is what's run by Bishop. And we find out a little backstory about his attachment. And it turns out that his father is the one that kind of set the groundwork for why he's hunting all the mutants and stuff. And you got Old Hob who's setting up with the turtles, getting ready because they see all the army people outside. There's a huge attack that happens. And then, of course, Bishop controlling Slash comes in. And they end up escaping Slash by the skin of their teeth, literally. And they end up back at the turtle lair hiding out. But what happens is that the Gecko... oh my God, Mondo. Why did I forget his name is Mondo? Mondo Gecko ended up stealing kind of like bogus information. It really wasn't anything about what they're doing. It's more of just a list of names of who's part of the company. But Old Hob catches the name. And let's just say it looks like Old Hob now has one up on Bishop, because now he has Agent Bishop's father. And we all know what he's going to say. Release Slash, release my people, or I kill your dad. This is going to lead to an epic standoff. Wow. And we are going to see that in issue 70. Still gearing towards issue 100.
Well, it's almost getting there. Big 2, back to digitals.
I had to mention this book because number 1, I liked it. And number 2, I don't know, for some reason, I just really enjoyed the characters this time. I don't know, maybe I'll get back into Champions. But Champions issue number 8. I've been reading Champions right along. I have not been reviewing it because it hasn't exactly been the best of books. I mean, everybody can agree with me on that. But this issue, for some reason, I enjoyed. It kind of stole a story idea from Miss Marvel. You have Champion, their logo is being copywritten by this other company who's trying to make a profit off of the Champion, you know, shirts and apparel. And when I was like, be a champion and join your, and they open up a website, and you see that the kids are all up, you know, getting annoyed because like, this is our brand and these other people are profiting, and you have other people that are saying, oh, they sold out. Also, you get a little bit more with Viv. Apparently, Vision is not happy with what Viv is doing, and it actually works its way into the last part of the issue, but he kind of gives her a stern warning about what she's doing, and you can see that Armadeus kind of has a thing for her as well. And then we find out that Nova, Sam, makes a video and basically says, we're the champions and we don't want you to buy this stuff. We do not endorse it. It's not ours at all. And he basically blasts the shirt. And that's when everybody just takes their champion gear and destroys it. So the company that's trying to make money off the champions is now screwed. Because the champions are even saying they're not our brand. And what happens is, I love Miss Marvel because she's ready to give up. I mean, this whole issue, she was kind of like bummed down, like, I don't believe this is happening again, yada, yada. And here it is. Nova did that. And throughout the rest of the issue, and it's hilarious. And I'm wondering if a relationship might spout out of this. But she's like, I love you. To Nova, over and over and over again. I love you. I love you. I love you. And it was funny as hell. And it's a win. I don't know why, but this story just, it spoke to me in ways where I was like, I got to review this book. I mean, as you guys know, I read a lot of books that I don't review. Champions was one of them. I had to share that. I really did enjoy. I'm not saying it's top 5 material, don't get me wrong, but it was an enjoyment. It really was an enjoyment to read. Nova issue number 6. Now that we know that Nova is going to be ending very, very soon, probably by the end of this story arc, definitely by the end of the story arc, Richard Rider, we get the backstory on what happened to him in the Cancerverse after he got trapped there. And apparently he tried to escape at some point, and he tried to use his Nova power to escape with the destroyed cosmic cube. This is a long story. I don't want to get into this long story with you guys because honestly it was like, okay, he gets stuck there. He grows a long beard. The Cancerverse tries to destroy him. He fights back, and then he tries to escape. It fails. Or he gets out, but something gets left behind, and it starts to eat away at the Cancerverse, and now it wants him back. And it has him back. And then Sam, I don't know how, but Sam shows up and is there to save him. Issue 7 is the last. Okay, so next issue is the last issue. So Sam shows up to try to save him and bring him back. And he gets kind of absorbed into the Cancerverse. And now it looks like it's going to be Sam versus Rich. And honestly, I'm going to be glad to see this series go because this 7 issues has been the weakest Nova story I've read since Sam had his book. And this is sad because if you look at all the other volumes of Nova, 20s, 30s, 40s even, this one, 7. Didn't even make it to double digits. That's sad. That it didn't even make it to 10. That they're ending it at 7. That's sad. But what can you do? That's Nova. Again, if you haven't been reading Nova right along, no reason to jump on now. Just let it ride out. If you want to read some good Nova, Avengers, whichever book he's in, because I don't read all the Avenger books, and Champions. Champions, he's written really good as well. Spider-Man 2099 issue number 23. Miguel travels forward in time to 2000. Oh, this is 2019. So I'm guessing the other one I was wrong with the space woman. Maybe she was
Paper
from
Girls.
maybe she was from a different time. All right, this one was 2019 for sure. And Miguel finds out exactly when the virus drops because Electro tells him. So he uses the time portal. Instead of going to 2099, he goes to 2019 when this happens. And surprise, Tyler Stone is the one that does it. And he has his whole crew. As you guys know, he brought back the 2099 Sinister Six. And he had Tempest, whom he turned back into a Inhuman. Because she had like that mutation at the beginning of the series. But Tempest is fighting against the Sinister Six. Miguel is fighting against Tyler to get that disease before he throws it and destroys New York. Oh, there is a hint also, and Tevia is going to go from frowning and sad to happy and joyful. When Miguel traveled to 2019, Parker Industries was collapsed. It was gone. There was no more Parker Industry building. So this leads to the conclusion that 2-1, within the next year or so, Parker Industries is going to be dead. So Tevia is probably super happy. I love it's amazing, especially Tempest. Yeah, I thought you were going to say about Spider-Man. So something happens to Parker Industries, it's gone. So Tevia, yes, he says yes. He's very happy. And we find out that, you know, he made fun of this guy. It looked like he was cosplaying his old suit, 2099 suit, to make money. And he's kind of, the guy that was cosplaying him kind of didn't look like he was a cosplayer. And it plays in because the covers for the next few issues spoil it. But spoiler here, but the covers spoiled it already if you started reading this book. That is a Spider-Man 2099 somehow, and he kills Tyler Stone and gets the virus before he drops it. And apparently now they try to send. There's a contingency plan where they're like having New York attack Spider-Man 2099, and it's him, the doppelganger, and Tempest versus all of New York now to be continued. Talk about convoluted, man. So there's Miguel in the white suit, possible Miguel in his original suit, Tempest now as her Inhuman body again. I don't know, man. This is convoluted, crazy almost, but maybe it'll end up with Miguel in 2099 and we get some stories in 2099. We'll have to wait and find out. All right. Injustice 2 issue number 1. I had to. I read the beginning of Injustice number 1 when way back when the game first came out, and I stuck with it almost throughout the whole first year. And now I regret dropping it 3 or 4 years later, and now we're going to Injustice 2. So I had to jump on board with this, and this I will be getting in trade, and hopefully, God willing, one day I'll get the entire run of Injustice, the original Injustice, in trades or omnibuses. I think they made omnibuses for each year. So I just need year 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're good. But anyway, issue 2 opens up after the events of the video game Injustice. Superman is no longer in the Phantom Zone, though. He's in a prison surrounded by red sunlight, so he has no superpowers whatsoever. Batman 1, he kind of hints to Harley that he wants her to be his new Robin without being called Robin, and she's like, I'll let you know. Time passes, and Amanda Waller shows up, and she wants to bring Harley in to be part of her Suicide Squad, and she actually does acquire Harley. Long story short, I condensed most of the book right there. And she puts the bomb in her head, and she's like, you're going to be part of my Suicide Squad now. We're going to fix the world. And she's like, you're stupid. I'm partners and best friends with Batman. He's probably already in the building right now here to save me. And she's like, I doubt that. I don't see this happening. And then she's like, yeah, I don't think so. And then she's like, guards, And she's like, is this the part where the guards came out and the door opens and there's Batman? And he's like, Amanda Waller and Commander Flag, I got to thank you for putting together the team the world needs. And I love there's a segment in the middle that you would like where Dr. Fate goes to Green Arrow and Black Canary and says, it's safe for you to come home now with your son because Batman beat Superman and he needs you to fix the world.
Their son?
Yeah, they have a son.
I didn't know that.
They had a son. They ran away. There's a whole thing that happened in year 1, apparently, that in the comics that I did not know about, where he went off to hide because Black Canary was supposed to die, and they kind of left to prevent the death from happening. And they thought at first Dr. Fate was there to kill her, and then he wasn't. He was there to let them know that it's safe to go home. Boy.
Okay.
So anyway, why does it matter?
I didn't know. I didn't know they had a kid.
A son means a girl. A boy. A son.
A boy. A daughter means a girl. A son means a boy.
I knew he was going to make me do that. But anyway.
What?
So Batman now. I don't even want to spoil that last page, but let's just say it looks like Batman might, unless that's not Batman and it's somebody dressing up like Batman. But if it isn't Batman, if it isn't somebody dressing up as Batman and it's Batman, Superman in the beginning of the book said, you know what? You're going to put the world back the way it was. No, you're not. You're going to fall under the same thing that I did. You're going to see an opportunity to make the world a better place as long as you run it, and you're going to take it. And let's just say by the end of this book, it looks like Superman might actually be right, and Batman might actually be the villain this time, which would mean freeing Superman to stop Batman would mean, I don't know, but it's going to be insane. I can't wait. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get the game. We're going to wait for the game to obviously have like the grand ultimate.
They're talking about DLC, so might as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a grand ultimate edition in like a year, and that's when we're going to come up and scoop it up with all the DLC
just
in
like
it.
Mortal Kombat XL.
So that's what we're going to do there. So this book, I'm going to throw out really quickly. I reviewed it. I was shocked by it. Secret Empire, issue number 1. I am surprised. I actually read this book expecting not to like it. I am intrigued by it. So now we'll see where issue 2 goes. This series has potential to be really, really good or go really, really bad. This is Marvel. They start off strong and then sometimes end weak, or start off strong and end good. Got to see where the story goes. But if you'd like to see a full in-depth review, go check out my review on Comic Frontline right now. If you're watching it on this live on Comic Frontline, it's up there right now. If you're watching this on my channel, go check out Comic Frontline. One thing I will mention, because I missed this when I did my review of Secret Empire, and I actually bookmarked it in my head and it disappeared. There's a sub-goal where I love how Captain Marvel in this book is warning all the universe that this is not just some Earth's problem; it's the entire world's problem, the entire universe's problem, because they're not going to stop on Earth. Lo and behold, Hydra's true plan is to find the cosmic cube so that they can set the world the way it's supposed to be, and maybe even the universe. So this is something that could be universe spanning, changing. So the whole goal is for Hydra to find the cosmic cube. It's going to be very interesting to see the race to get the cosmic cube. There's some really crazy stuff, and the ending for this book definitely digs Steve Rogers even deeper down the rabbit hole. And when he comes back from this, if he comes back from this, he is definitely never going to be the same. Really good book, though. I'm definitely intrigued to see the next story, the next issue.
Okay. All right, so I have just 2 books. Spider-Man, DeadPool, issue number 17. So in this comic book, I believe it's a new story arc, because this person that you see on the cover is actually a crazy, nutso, going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of saying his life story. His life story is saying that his father abandoned him, and his father really didn't like him, so he goes to attack Spider-Man and Deadpool because obviously Spider-Man wants to save him. But what's confusing me is that Spider-Man had the Doc Ock arms in this issue.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if any of you have seen it or not, but I'm being for real when I say this. And he wasn't acting like himself, Spider-Man. Like, he's saying, like, yes, I do want to save him, but if I have to do what I have to do best, so be it. So like basically, they both go off and fight against him, and the only way Spider-Man got rid of him off the edge, saying, "God forgive me," he lets him go. And that's something I think the Doc Ock in his mind would do, because then at the end of the issue, DeadPool is facing off against Spider-Man. Yeah, I think Deadpool's trying to be like more of a hero, because like saying, you know, what you did was wrong and everything. So actually, they are gonna fight each other. That's what I saw, and it's to be continued. So this is a really shocking thing. Spider-Man had 2 extra arms once long before Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, you remember 6-armed Spider-Man.
Yeah, but this was like the red that looked like...
He's talking about the Superior Spider-Man, like, or Iron Spider arms in the back.
Probably, but his attitude changed for...
So maybe it's Doc Ock.
I don't know. The Fall and Rise of Captain Atom, issue number 5. This wasn't an iffy book, like, okay, but I could just sum this up in, like, a couple of sentences. In this comic book, I can't remember what the blue one's name was in Captain Atom. Like, he
Disaster?
I don't know. I have to relook at it. But he wreaks havoc all around everywhere. And they're trying to figure out where Captain Atom is. And like, I thought that he was trying to make a mockery of Captain Atom, like saying that I'm this person. Like, he goes to every single person and gives them a terrible ending by killing them. So Captain Atom, after he hears about it, he actually wants to stop him from killing him, and he actually does in this dimensional portal thing, and then he just throws him into the other portal. But this is what confuses me. At the end, he appears again, saying that this one person he has left to kill is the only one he has to go after next, and it's to be concluded. So I'm guessing that this next one will be the end of the run of the Fall and Rise of Captain Atom, because it's a miniseries. So I'll be definitely reading that to see how that goes. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see about that. And also, the other book that wasn't on here that I did read was Deathstroke issue number 18. The book was an okay book. It was just really Jericho versus Deathstroke, and then Deathstroke trying to find some answers about all this and that. And then Batman came back in the book of making the Rose turn into Avenger and all that stuff. So it was an okay book. I don't know. I really got to think about what my least favorite book of the week is for tomorrow. So it's a toss-up.
Oh, I didn't get to my least favorite just yet.
Well, we're going into now the physicals.
Iron Fist issue number 3. It's apparent by the cover alone that Iron Fist does survive the Rat Warrior, or the Rat King, or no, it's not the Rat King.
It's the Turtles.
Yeah, I know. I forget what he is, but basically he defeats him. Gets his, well, actually he's warned by the person who's guiding him around not to take this guy's chi, because he's infected and he's deep. Well, not deep. He's got like a poison to him, and taking his chi would kind of hurt Danny more than help him. We get a lot of talking in the middle of this book, and when I say a lot of talking, it starts here and it ends here. It literally ends 4 pages later, where what's his name is Chao Sin actually sets up a contingency so that Danny doesn't win, because they're just waiting and letting Danny fight all of these different champions. He wants to make a little bit of an insurance to make sure Danny doesn't make it all the way to the end. And the next person is the guy you see on the cover, and we find out that this guy missing without both of his arms used to be an Iron Fist, and we get his backstory. And apparently he failed somewhere along the lines, and his punishment was he lost his 2 arms, which was basically his power. And Danny defeats him, gets his chi, and that's where the people that Chao Sin actually hired come in and try to assassinate Danny in the middle of his journey. And Danny gets saved by somebody. To be continued. I don't know, but the cover doesn't really give too much away, at least to my knowledge. So I'm still wondering who saved Danny.
I don't know.
Really good stuff. I'm loving the fighting and everything in this book, and I'll be right back because I'm hearing a little bit of stuff in the back.
All right. So I did say I was going to give this issue a try by Dennis Hopeless, and I'm glad to be reviewing this, actually. Jean Grey, issue number 1. And let me take it out of its glossy thing right here. So, Jean Grey, issue number 1. What do I think of this book? Well, at first, we learn a little bit about Jean Grey, like saying, you know, no, I'm not that Jean Grey of the Phoenix Force, and I don't go all crazy, nutso, and everything, and then die in the arms of Cyclops, and then find out that Cyclops gets with Emma Frost and whatnot. She's just the regular Jean Grey that tries not to be that angry, really. First of all, the artwork is really great in this comic book. And I do want to say the artist's name. The art is by Victor Ibanez, if I said the name right. Like, his art is really great. And basically, she stops, like, this robbery that's going on and, you know, stops everything. And also, you do not want to call Jean Grey girly, because that is the least thing you do not want to do, and that's to piss off Jean Grey, to say girly to her and everything. So she tries to help this lady at a shop and everything, trying to talk to her with not sign language, like giving her like different images and stuff like that that would try to communicate and stuff. So she, you know, finishes off the whole robbery, what happened. And when she meets up with one person that was actually messing with her mind telepathically, she knows who he is and everything, but it wouldn't be Jean Grey without, like, the Phoenix. But wait, we thought in the beginning Jean Grey said that wasn't that, but we kind of figured that it was going to happen sooner or later. So it's like saying, you know, I'm not that Jean Grey, this cannot be happening and all that stuff. So she goes back with the crew and everything, but she's saying that the Phoenix is coming, and next is definitely not okay. And oh wow, there's actually a Darth Vader issue number 1 coming out, which I did not know about. Maybe I'll look into that. I don't know. And this is the preview cover for the preview cover for the next issue. So I actually like this book. Dennis Hopeless is a really great writer in this book. I mean, I thought that when I read this book, like, I thought they were going to go a different route, like saying, if I'm not this Jean Grey, what Jean Grey was she? But since we saw the Phoenix come out and everything, I guess we're going to be seeing Phoenix soonish. But yeah, for an ongoing series, I'm really trusting Dennis Hopeless, because I did read his Spider-Woman run, and he did really great with the Spider-Woman run. So I'm really giving him high hopes for Jean Grey, along with the artist. So definitely something to read in Jean Grey. Really awesome book. Welcome back.
Okay. Perfect timing.
I know.
I have to still read Jean Grey. All right. Another Phoenix story again. Oh, come on, man. When it's Jean Grey, you gotta know
it's a totally different story, but you know, it's great in a good way. You should read it, Tevi. It's really good.
X-Men Gold issue number 3, the conclusion to the first story arc. Now, in the last issue, Old Man Logan, or I should just start calling him Logan, because that's what he's going as now. Logan calls Kitty and lets her know where he's at. Oh, excuse me. Why do I? Every time I'm ready to review a book, I don't even know they do these things anymore. I thought Marvel was done with doing these.
The advertisements thing.
These stupid advertisement things in the middle of my book. Come on. No wonder why this book felt thicker than it was. And anybody who's about to yell at me, the resale, I don't sell my books, so I really could give a crap how low I just made my book's value by taking that out. But anyway, what happens is Wolverine ends up having to fight against the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants again. And actually, Armor and Rockslide end up tagging along with Kitty and the others to help them fight against this Brotherhood. And Wolverine ends up getting mind controlled. You got Rachel fighting against Mesmero, which is awesome because we find out, actually, spoiler alert here, Mesmero was mind controlling everyone, not just Magma, but everybody. except for Mesmero, was being mind controlled to do this. And the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants was actually set up. There's a lot of really awesome action. Like there's a time bomb that's set up, and Magma and Kitty get left behind, and they survive by the skin of their teeth. But we find out that this was all a setup by, and this shouldn't surprise many of you, it was all a setup by the woman who started those commercials and that hate speech for the mutants at the beginning of the issue. She wanted to do this to basically push mutants out of America, deport them all, get rid of them. She's a racist. She hates mutants. And she gets found out, and she's like, you have no proof, and all of your proof is gone. She's like, so what are you going to do now, threaten me?
See, again, though, I hate to interrupt you. Again, diversity.
Oh, well, this is the way it is. And I love how my book, I love how my last page looks like this. I got like I don't know if any of you guys got that white page garbage, but my page is a white page garbage, but it's all right. So Kitty Pryde threatens us. She's like, we're not gonna take you in now. We're gonna wait and we're gonna see. When you screw up, that's when we'll be back. And she's like, you're very naive. Who do you think you are? And she's like, we're the X-Men. And she walks away. It's awesome. She actually did keep one of the mutants. Mesmero and the other evil mutants were taken away, but she got to keep the one mutant that wasn't talking, and Magma, I guess, got talked out of being arrested because it was all under Mesmero's mind control. Really good stuff. I enjoy X-Men Gold. The first story arc was interesting. I cannot wait for the next story arc to begin. Okay?
Yeah, I was just moving them up. That's all.
Bane Conquest. I got this because I was like, you know what? I love Chuck Dixon. I really liked his writing in the 90s. But I should have stuck with my first initial thought. This is a Bane 12-part story. I didn't like this book. I thought the artwork was pretty good, but I don't care. Wow. I just don't care about the story. Okay. I should have. My initial thought was I was going to keep that as a digital book. And then I'm like, you know what? No, let's see if I like it physically. And, well, I am under contract for the first 3 books.
So I can already tell what's your worst.
Yeah, you kind of can, can't you? I definitely am not digging.
Right, well, we'll see what the others think, too.
Right. I just didn't like it. I mean, I like Chuck Dixon's writing, don't get me wrong, but it must just be because it's Bane. And it just did not. I have no investment in the story nor the character. I just didn't like it. We got Marty in the comments. How do you guys store all these comics you own? Love the show and the channel. Thank you, Marty. And my comics are stored just like everybody else's comics. I have a nice portion in my house where I have boxes set up where they stay. I do read a fair amount digitally now, so instead of boxes at home, I have a box in Comixology. So anyway, Justice League issue number 20. Oh, God. Did I even bother to read this one? Because I think, yeah, this was the Endless Part 1, where Flash...
long or short boxes?
Long. Right now I have bins set up within the comics. I'm working on transferring everything to long boxes. I wanted to get the Secret Empire short box, but I couldn't. And I just can't get into this book at all. I just didn't dig Flash. And like I said, we find out that it's Flash's fault that this guy's son ended up dying. And I don't know. I'm done. With Justice League, I'm just done. I'm just done completely with Justice League. It is falling off of my physical pile 100%. But this issue of Green Lanterns makes me reconsider dropping Green Lanterns from my physical pile.
Wow, you're dropping things like
No, it makes me reconsider. I did drop
reconsider. Oh, I didn't hear that.
I'm thinking of keeping it physically.
Okay.
I just dropped Justice League. I just dropped Bane, so I think I might actually keep Green Lantern. So Jessica and Simon are on their way to Oa, right? Right. And Jessica ends up getting, she demands that her ring stop, and she gets trapped in space, and she's freaking out. Well, enter Kyle Rayner to save the day. And what happens is he takes her to Oa. He has a nice long speech where he takes her to Oa, They make it to I'm sorry. Why do I say O? O is gone. Mogo, and I love the artwork in this book. I really like the artwork in this book. So he takes them to Mogo. Oh, good. They actually have a layout of all the Injustice books here.
You mean
Year 1 and 2 have complete editions. Unfortunately, 3, 4, and 5 have 2 volumes from 3 and 4, and 5 has 3 volumes. Dang. I would like complete editions for the other 3. Anyway, I'm losing myself. So they're on Oa now. Simon has already proven himself to be a Green Lantern, but Jessica has not. So what happens is she comes face to face with Kilowog, and he actually takes away her lantern, and regardless whether she earned it on Earth or not, she did not go through the training to be a Green Lantern. So she loses her lantern and becomes a White Circle and has to be trained. What happens is we find that we get a little bit with the with Volthoom, and he's talking with the other Guardians who need actually what's his name, Rami's help, but Rami is not there right now. It's Volthoom that's actually in Rami's body. And they're basically giving Rami the weapons he wants to destroy the Guardians and the Green Lanterns. And we find out that Simon and Jessica are going to be trained by Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner. To be continued. I have this book for, I think, two more months. I have this month and next month. We're going to find out if for 1 month I'm going to be getting Green Lanterns from Midtown, and then we're going to be continuing it through DCBS because Green Lanterns is starting to look really good once again. Nightwing issue number 20, the grand finale. Is Nightwing a father? Is Damian dead? What the hell is Dr. Hurt doing? It is all talked about in this book. And while Defacer is not the woman in the refrigerator that everybody thought she was, we'll get into her character momentarily. So she's helping Deathwing because Deathwing he wanted to be more because he was a nobody and he wanted help, and Hurt offered him a new life, and now he just wants to die at this point because he feels useless. And I like how oh god, Sean brings him back a bit, and we get inside Dick's mind a bit about Damian himself, and we definitely get some deep stuff between Damian and Dick as far as their persons. And Dick actually breaks free and takes out Dr. Hurt, and we find out that Damian's not dead. It was just a flesh wound. Apparently he's able to move his liver on command.
Oh.
And they get away. Deathwing kills Dr. Hurt. Dr. Hurt kills Deathwing. They escape. I love how the hole in the ground basically makes the Nightwing symbol. This definitely is all connected with what's coming in at the end of Rebirth. We find out that Sean is not pregnant. So Dick is not going to be a dad yet. But she is definitely going to be suffering some PTSD, which I believe is going to cause her to leave Dick at some point.
Oh.
Because of the events of what happened in this story arc. But we get some really... Now, this is the last 4 pages or 3 pages are the best in this issue. I got to tell you guys. The chemistry and the bond between Dick and Damian was awesome in these 3 pages. And one thing I really liked was where Nightwing said, when your dad came back and he became Batman, I wanted to, I was going to keep you as my partner. I was going to have you, what was the exact words? I thought it would be better if you would stay with me as my partner. And Damon's like, really? He's like, yeah, but at the time I didn't really feel it. Now I kind of, I feel bad I didn't. I don't know. They have really awesome chemistry, Damian and Nightwing, and I like that. Dick and Damian definitely have very good chemistry, and I believe this is definitely going to. I don't think it's going to hinder Damian and John's relationship, but I really like the mentor-student with Damian and Dick. Really great stuff.
All right, this book I reviewed on Comic Frontline, and that is Green Arrows number 22, The Rise of Star City, Part 2. And this is where we get more of the 4 horsemen that are causing damage from what we saw in the last issue and what they're doing in this issue. So we get a really cool fight scene with Green Arrow and Eddie Fires with phenomenal artwork, by the way. But in came in the Four Horsemen to basically make it a 3-on-1 thing. But since Green Arrow has a team of his own, that builds a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in future issues. This Mayor Domani, I really am growing more of a hatred towards him because all he's saying is that there's so much to fear and all this negative and everything. Like saying, you know, after all these questions, like saying the interview's over, just tired of this media stuff. So it's like really something else with his character. I didn't like him since day one anyway. So Green Arrow goes to Victoria and he tells him about the Star thing where it's at Queen Industries. Green Arrow and Black Canary have a little bit of an argument where they go separate ways. We didn't see that coming. And they're going to come back, you know that. And we have Eddie Fires who set the Green Arrow headquarters on fire, which is going to make less and less of Green Arrow either being by himself or I don't know, because we have Arsenal and Henry Piff who's still on the side. And maybe Amico might come back because it's all on one page. But Black Canary and even John Diggle we haven't seen ever since the Black Archer thing happened. So I don't know. But this was a really great issue. I can't wait to see how the next part of the Rise of Star City is going to be.
Superman issue 22, Black Dawn. We saw Superman's side. We saw John's side. Now we get Lois's side. Lois is at home and she's worried about what's going on because she sees the news break about Superman, Damian, and John, or Superboy. I gotta start calling him Superboy, fighting the giant squid. She kind of freaks out. There's a fire that's set to the front of her house, and she ends up worried that something's happening to Clark and John. So she runs out to the Cobb house to see if they're there. The Cobbs haven't seen him, so she runs into town to see what's going on. The town is in mayhem, but we find out that the town has been watching the Kents. And Candace, who offered Lois a job at her news firm, actually is a part. The whole town is apparently a part of it, and they all have weird superpowers. And I don't know, it's creepy. And it's like, hello, Lois, you know, and the entire town is there, the sheriff, the mayor, everyone. And they're like, you have a very interesting secret with your husband and your son. And Lois doesn't waste no time. She gets out that bat gauntlet, starts going to town on them. She's a badass. This issue definitely shows Lois as the badass she is. We find the Batmobile. She gets out into the Batmobile and runs. However, the town folk chase after her. She gets rid of them. However, the car kind of breaks down right in front of the Cobb house. And you just see old man Cobb standing there going, hello, Lois. And Clark is in the bog, the swamp. And he's underneath the house, and we find out that there's a big old alien ship, and there's where Batman and Damian are and a few other people from. It looks like the entire town was abducted, sort of, somehow. And you got Frankenstein that was abducted. So apparently somebody abducted this entire town, took it over just to watch and basically take Clark and hinder his son from growing. Crazy stuff. I can't wait to see how this whole mystery unfolds. And then we get to the penultimate issue of The Button. Batman. I'm going to. Batman, issue 22. Oh, it looks so good on camera, but I can't. For some reason, my eyes don't get to see what the camera sees, so I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this through the camera a minute, guys, because I don't get to see this in reality. For some reason, these covers work for me on camera, but when I'm looking at them in person, it just does not do this for my eyes. I don't know why. But anyway, so they're in the Flashpoint universe. Apparently, after Flashpoint, the world of Flashpoint, at that moment where Barry disappears and we think it all gets nuked to hell, it was put on life support. Something stopped the Flashpoint universe from destroying. And it's been around. See, for Flash, it's only been a few months. And by the way, I'd like to mention that if you look at the Flash, no chin guard. The chin thing is gone. I would just like to point that out, that we're getting more of a classic looking Flash here. So they're in Thomas Wayne's Batcave, and apparently Aquaman and Wonder Woman are teaming up now to take out Batman because they think he's the biggest threat on the Flashpoint Earth right now. And Barry's trying to figure out what's going on. And as far as Barry's Speed Force is concerned, they're home. He's like, this is our universe. For some reason, this universe is saying that we're home and this is our universe, but something's wrong. Something has this world on life support. And that's when the Amazons and the Atlanteans attack, and we get an awesome fight between the Batmen, both father and son, against the Amazons and the Atlanteans, while Flash fixes the cosmic treadmill. And he does fix it, and they have to leave. And one thing I don't like, though, is Bruce tries to stay behind. Of course, his father throws him off because Bruce tells him, by the way, I'm a father, you're a grandfather. What I don't like is here, this panel right here, where you got Thomas Wayne saying, don't be Batman anymore. Let Batman die with me. Be a father to your son. Be happy. Don't let my, don't let my death and your mother's death be the reason for your misery anymore. Be something more. And I have a feeling when a writer puts something that deep in a book, I'm worried that that is going to definitely lead into Bruce possibly reconsidering being Batman or dropping the mantle of Batman again for a time. I hope not. But anyway, Flashpoint gets taken off, however, of life support, and the destruction of the Flashpoint concludes. Apparently something, or somebody, Dr. Manhattan, wanted Bruce and Barry to experience that timeline, and that's what they actually are talking about a bit here. He's like, somebody wants to hurt us. That's what Wally was saying. So somebody made us go to that Flashpoint time to hurt us, And I think that's why Batman, Bruce, might not stop being Batman, because he now knows that somebody's trying to hurt them and weaken him as Batman. So hopefully Bruce will be smart enough to realize that that's the reason why they stop there, and he's never going to stop being Batman. But they finally catch up to the Reverse Flash, who says, I know where this button comes from, and I'm going to go see this person, and this person has never seen a person like me before, and we're going to have some fun. To be concluded. Oh, man, I cannot wait for the Flash this Wednesday. I can't wait to see how this story arc concludes, and I can't wait to see if there'll be another crossover with Flash and Batman. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there will, because this was excellent. So, for those of you that thought Flashpoint was gone, wrong. 5 years later, we find out it's been put on life support until this week. Now Flashpoint is officially gone and wiped from all of history. This was an excellent book. I really enjoyed it. I am loving the button. It is a really great story arc. Definitely a reason to pick up Flash at least for 1 month.
Yep.
I love Thomas Wayne Flash. I do too. I hope somehow he survived, because he said we rise. I wonder if we will be seeing Thomas Wayne Batman again in some shape or form. That would be awesome. I would like to see Thomas Wayne somehow survive that. But anyway, that is it for this comic review, guys. Now, it's your guys' turn. Let us know, because I know everybody live has been talking with us about the comics that we're talking about here, but now post-live, let us know what you guys thought about the comics that came out this week. Do you agree with what we talked about with these books? Do you disagree? Likes, dislikes, recommendations, everything, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your guys' opinions on the books that came out this week. The comments are where your voices are heard. And first of all, thank all of you so much for being here with us live. We had Tevya, we had Marty, we had Larry, we had Jason, we had Jason Smith. I want to make sure I got everybody. Ron Price popped in for one comment. We had also Mr. Gretzky at the very, very beginning, and then Mr. Gretzky disappeared, but he could still be listening, so I don't know. But thank all of you for being here with us live. Thank all of you out there that are watching this post-live, whether it be on Comic Frontline or my channel at the beginning of June. Thank you all so much. We are officially now 8 episodes away, starting, well, not yet. I'm pushing my luck by saying 8. But we have officially concluded the 9th episode, the countdown of 9. The 9th episode away from 400. We are getting ever so close to the epic 400th comic review. Oh, Ron Price is still with us. Ron, thank you for sticking with us. It was a great show tonight. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that, and thank you for being here with us. But, guys, as always, we are Comic Frontline, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you like what you saw here, hopefully, if you're new, you click that sub button. This way, we're in your sub box, and you don't miss out on a single video. We have videos coming up and coming out each and every day. If you're watching this on my channel, Dark Avenger C86, Dark Avenger Reborn dropped at the end of April. Dark Avenger C86 is back and at full strength. What does that mean? By the time this goes up on my channel, the podcast should be up. If you're watching this on Frontline, unfortunately, due to the crazy weekend we had getting our puppy, I have not finished that podcast yet, and that also means I didn't finish It's a Podcast yet. Both of those podcasts should be done, God please, by the middle of this week and up, and everybody will be happy, especially me, because I want to get these 2 podcasts out. But you'll have the reasons why and what that means for Dark Avenger C86 over on Dark Avenger C86. So please, if you're not subscribed to my channel, hopefully you'll consider going over to my channel and subscribing, because I got a lot of really awesome stuff coming there from time to time as well. But I'm here. I'm also on Comic Frontline, and we have 3 live shows every week. Media Madness. I'm going out of order. Let's go in order. We have the comic review right now on Mondays. We've got Frontline Live on Tuesdays, Media Madness Wednesday and/or Thursday, and then Dark Avenger Live every Friday. Hopefully you guys will pop in for 1 or more of our live shows and talk with us. We love talking with you guys, and that's why we love doing the live shows, because now we can talk to people in the comments. Thank you all so much for being here once again. Take care. Keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see you guys, or we will see you guys really soon in the next video. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.